I suppose that you're wondering what this lesson will be about today. Supposing we looked at some grammar. Would you like that? The word suppose is such a tricky word in English, and it's often confused with to be supposed to. Be sure to check out my other video on this verb after watching this video. It's Carly from Learn English with Carly here, and today I'm at Ambleside Beach here in West Vancouver. Behind me, you can see the Lions Gate Bridge and a little bit of Stanley Park. Now, I'm wearing a jumper today, or a sweater as it's known here in Canada. It's actually 4 degrees. It's a little bit colder than when I last made a video. So I need to keep warm whilst I'm recording and get on with it. Today I would like to show you 2 uses of the word suppose, as it can be used as a verb, to suppose, as well as a conjunction. Let's compare. I suppose the concert will be sold out. This is suppose used as a verb. Suppose she's late. What will we do then? This is suppose used as a conjunction, meaning what if. We can also say supposing. Supposing she's late, what will we do? Let's look at both of these uses in detail. Your homework is to study this video, watch it several times, taking notes, before writing a comment to me to practice the use of suppose. To suppose, our verb, can be used in a variety of ways, and I want to share 9 uses today with you. First use of to suppose as a verb. To suppose is used to demonstrate what you think, believe, imagine, and or expect something to be the case. I suppose food prices will keep increasing this year. This is a thought, a belief, something that I imagine will happen, and also an expectation, as I have good reasons why I think this will happen. I use food prices as an example, as I know that many of us all over the world are experiencing increasing food prices right now. I suppose now that Kate and Henry are married, they'll be having children soon. This is something that you expect, think, believe, or imagine will happen next for Kate and Henry. I suppose you're hungry. Here again, we believe, think, imagine, or expect this person to be hungry. So we can use to suppose to show that we think, believe, imagine, and or expect something to be the case. Use number 2 of to suppose. We can use to suppose to show that we think something is likely to be true. Daniela didn't answer her phone, so I suppose she's busy. I suppose Mark will get the job. We can also use suppose to show that we think something is true, although we wish it wasn't true. I suppose all the concert tickets will be sold by now. I suppose Helen won't have washed the dishes again. If you're finding this video useful and enjoying it, please do feel free to comment, to like, to share, and certainly to subscribe to this video and to Learn English with Carly. I really, really appreciate it. My use number 3 of to suppose. Where do you suppose you'll spend your Christmas holiday? We use suppose here just as we would use the verb to think. Where do you think you will spend your Christmas holiday? Do you suppose Jane will marry him? Again, suppose here is just like using think. Do you think Jane will marry him? In this next example, my 4th use of to suppose, we use I suppose or I suppose so to show some uncertainty, a little bit like saying I think so. Do you think it will rain again tomorrow? I suppose so. Do you think he meant to do that? Yeah, I suppose so. My 5th use of to suppose. If someone asks or suggests something that we don't completely agree with, we can also use I suppose or I suppose so. Can I go out tonight? Oh, I suppose so. I don't agree with the change, but I suppose it's for the best. Now, parents and teachers across English-speaking countries may use to suppose to describe someone's probable thoughts, attitudes, or actions when you are annoyed with them. I suppose you think that's funny. Well, I don't. I suppose you think you're being clever. Well, you're not. I suppose you're going to be late for school again. I suppose you've forgotten to do your homework yet again. Now, my seventh use. We can use I don't suppose in requests, and it's actually very polite. We often use the construction I don't suppose in requests with negative structures when we hope that the answer will be positive. Let's take a look at an example. I don't suppose you could lend me $20, could you? I don't suppose you could tell me where Baker Street is, could you? I don't suppose you could forward me that email again, could you? I don't suppose you could give me a hand, could you? To give someone a hand, by the way, is an idiomatic expression meaning to help someone. I don't suppose you could help me, could you? Okay, my eighth use of to suppose. To suppose is also used in short answers with the meaning to think, believe, imagine, or expect. We won't be on time for the train. No, I suppose not. Here we are agreeing, and no, we probably are not going to be on time for the train. We will be late. Note here that in short answers, two forms of the negative are possible. I suppose not, and I don't suppose so. Let's take a look at another example. This isn't going to work, is it? Now you could answer, I suppose not. Or, I don't suppose so. Okay, my ninth use of the verb to suppose is very formal, and we use it where we expect and need something and is used instead of it would not be possible without. Wage increases of this kind supposes an increase in the company's profits this year. This is a very difficult sentence and very formal language. A return to working in the office supposes that all workers wish to return. Okay, that's our 9 uses of to suppose as a verb. Let's now take a look at our second use of suppose and supposing as conjunctions when they are used at the beginning of a sentence or of a clause. We use suppose when a speaker wishes to introduce suggestions or express a fear, a worry, or a concern. It's a bit like a what if or an if. Suppose it rains tomorrow, what will we do? Here, we're expressing a worry or a concern. We can also say, supposing it rains tomorrow, what will we do? The suppose or supposing at the beginning means exactly the same thing. Suppose we travel on Monday instead of on Tuesday. Will that be okay? Here we are making a suggestion. Supposing we travel on Monday instead of Tuesday, would that be okay? What do you notice about the tense directly after suppose and supposing in these questions? The verb that follows our suppose or supposing is in the present tense because we are talking about what might happen. It might rain, or we might change the day that we travel. Let's take a look at another example. Suppose you had $1,000. What would you do with it? Supposing you had $1,000. What would you do with it? What do you notice about the tense now? That's right. Now we use the past tense because we are talking about future possibility. We have a possible or hypothetical situation or condition, and the speaker invites you to imagine the result. Supposing you lost your job tomorrow, what would you do? Suppose you had a free flight to anywhere in the world, where would you go? Suppose it rained on your wedding day. How would you feel? Now remember, if we have a hypothetical situation, remember to use would in the second clause or second sentence. Okay, so it's important to use the present tense after suppose or supposing when we use them as conjunctions if we have a what if, a fear, a worry or a concern that something might happen. Use the past tense if you are suggesting a future possible hypothetical situation where the speaker wants you to imagine the result, followed by would. Let's see suppose and supposing as conjunctions at the beginning of a clause. We'd love to come over on Sunday, supposing you're free. Supposing here is used as if you are free. It would be lovely to see you on Sunday, supposing you don't have to work. Again, supposing here is used as if you don't have to work. In summary, suppose is both used as a verb and as a conjunction. We use it as a verb to express what we think, believe, imagine or expect, to show that something is likely true, to show uncertainty, and to describe someone's probable thoughts, attitudes or actions when we are annoyed. We also use I don't suppose you could in requests when we want to sound very formal. We use suppose or supposing as a conjunction to express what if or if. Now I suppose you know how to use suppose. Thank you for joining me today. If you haven't already done so, please click that subscribe button before you leave, and I look forward to working with you again very soon. Goodbye from a very cold Ambleside beach. I'm going to get warmed up. Take care, bye.